Hello everyone. How are we doing? It's Wednesday, the 7th of January. We are back, we are live, we are kicking. Although not too vigorously, my PC is under the desk. If I kick too much, I'll put my foot through the glass and then we'll be in trouble. Anyway, weird tangent aside, we're back. We are live. Missed Monday because we were very busy doing something that I had to get done on Monday night. But we're back, we're live. This is our first technical scheduled live of the year. So it's pretty exciting stuff. It's pretty cool, isn't it? We're back, we're live. How are all of you? You guys cool? You having a good one? Are you enjoying your new year so far? We are a week in, 7 days in. A whole week of the new year has passed. We are here. And I have painted 15 models. So I'm over 2 a day so far. Let's go, baby. Have you had time for the Sloven Knights? No, not yet. But that is the next job. Actually, no. The next job, which I'm starting tonight, is rot swords. So I've got to do the 5. I've done 5 of them. I've done 5 of the rot swords. There's 5 more rot swords to do. Then we've got Sloven Knights. Then we've got Putrid Blight Kings. So that's the order of operations. Understandably, I've been quite busy this week doing some other stuff, but now that's all out of the way. So I've now got the rest of this week to do some stuff for the Maggot Kid of Nurgle. So it's on the way. Don't worry. They're not even in your hands yet, though, so it's fine. Anyway, I've seen there's a bunch of green things in the chat, so massive thank you. Aiden Hughes 2241. Aiden, thank you very much. Greetings, Warhipster. Happy New Year, love to you all. I think there was one before as well from Colonel, so if I've missed it, Colonel, thank you. We also had a member before we came in from Yamil Gonzalez. Thank you very much for becoming our first member of the week. We are on member goals. 1 of 50. 49 to go, chat. 49 to go to 50. Edward, thank you very much for being a member for 29 months. Who will be victorious? Only the faithful. And only the Contrast Plus painters. And Dan Elliott, thank you very much for being a member for 23 months. Josh is going to nail airbrushing, I reckon. Haha, no, I think I'm going to be terrible at it. And it's going to frustrate and annoy me. But that's fine, because that's what the whole process is all about. So, thankfully, they sent me a replacement power supply. So we should be able to do this thing today. Should be at least be able to get it working. So we should see. There it is. Boom. In this little white box. So, yes. 10 out of 10 customer service. I sent the email. I got a response, which I forgot to respond to. I'll respond to it tonight, telling them that it's arrived and hopefully that it's working. I got a response saying, when we're back at work, I'll send you one. They sent me one the next day. It turned up yesterday. Or Monday. Monday. So, like, 3 days away. It's pretty good. Very, very good. So, for that reason alone, very cool. So, what we're going to do is I'm just going to get all the stuff out today. And then we'll pick right up where we left off last time. So, we have our quick start guide. There it is. We have our compressor. There it is. We've got our 2 jobby jobs. Which I remember there was a question about whether they were oriented differently. They are not. They are oriented the exact same direction. So I don't know how you get 2 in, but you do apparently. So that's all good. We need the actual airbrush itself and the cup as well. Here we go. Airbrush and cup. And then we need the old cable as well. So we'll get started in just a minute. There we go. We'll actually just zoom out a little bit as well. And you can see some Riders of Rohan. There we go. Let's just move them out of the way. We'll fiddle with the exposure as well. But firstly, finally at the half-century mark. Indeed, Jack. 50 months. 50. 50. Incredible. Finally, at the half century. Hope you had happy holidays. Going to be in Ireland in July. Any recommendations on what to do while I'm there? Oh, it's been a long time since I've been. I've only been to, well, actually, to be fair, I've been to Belfast, I've been to Dublin, I've been to Derry, I've been to a place called, I believe it's called, hang on. I just want to make sure I get this absolutely spot on correct. I've been to Clonakilty in Cork. There's a lot of really cool stuff to do. There's a lot of beautiful places, lots of beautiful scenery. If you like long walks, it's a great place to go. So yeah, I've been around, but I haven't been for a while. So there we go. But thank you very much for being a member for 50 months and mini painting dad with a 10 gifted Warhipster memberships, like an absolute boss. You are an absolute hero. Thank you so much for that. 10 gifted memberships. That puts us on 11. We're 21% of the way there, I think. 22%? 22%? Something like that. Towards our goal of 50. So 39 to go. Hello, Colonel. How are you? Anyway. Hey, mate. I finished painting Meow Ying thanks to your tutorial. Super happy with the result. Thank you. Oh, lovely. Lovely, lovely. I haven't seen many Meow Yings get done since the initial raft of things that came out. So if you got a way of sharing it, please do. I'll have a look. I'd love to see it. Right. Let's fiddle with the exposure just a little bit because everything's very bright. Easiest if I just do that, and I can look at it on screen. This button, exposure. Put it up to like there. That should be that should be fine. That looks all right. There we go. I'm good, Josh. I hope that you and Alice are both doing great. We are doing great. We're slowly kicking ass at this year. So there we go. Right. Okay. Maybe the right thing to do is to... I don't have an airbrush, so I mostly use your videos precisely because of that. Well, that's exactly what is going to keep... Hang on. Let me try that again. You have no fear, sir. Airbrush is not going to feature in Contrast Plus series. It's not going to go in there. This is a separate thing entirely, basically. So one of the things I'm doing this year is I'm going to try and add some strings to my personal hobby bow. But the Contrast Plus series of videos, you will not see an airbrush in those. So I'm not going to start doing, airbrush layers and all this kind of thing. Contrast Plus stays exactly the same as it is. It will never change, because that's the vibe we go for. What may appear alongside it is how I airbrushed a Blood Angels Horus Heresy army. That's what I mean. So it's like, we'll still do something like I was thinking maybe doing Imperial Fists with the Horus Heresy stuff, but we've still got like Sigismund and Evander Garius. They'll still be done Contrast Plus style, but this is just a separate thing. So it's just me learning this thing, and by the end of the year, I'll know whether or not I like it. Theoretically, if I stick to my guns, my airbrush guns, as it were, and actually focus on it, because it's very easy for me to get like trapped in the weeds of doing endless Contrast Plus tutorials, which I will still do, but doing other stuff alongside it. Hence the reason why the other thing that we've been doing in Discord is the 20 minutes a day club. I've been doing it 20 minutes a day every day for the last week, 7 days. We've managed to do all the Assaman Blue, all the Ultramarines Blue, and we've done 4 out of 5 lots of Black Legion as well in 7 lots of 20 minutes, whatever that is. So we'll move on to day 8 tomorrow, where I'll do the rest of the Black Legion on the Heavy Bolter, and then I'll do some Grey Seer stuff to just correct the parchment and things like that. That's what we're going to do. We should not do airbrush. 'Tis the devil's needle. But then again, oh, love the sting. Thank you very much for being a member for 29 months there, Mini Painting Dad. That's very kind of you. With the 10 gifties and 29 months. Legend. And Jacob, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Hell yeah, brother, for Airbrush Ventures. Yeah, well, there we go. It's Josh time. Hello, Captain Mannerings. It's Captain Mannering's time, some may argue. Does building count for the 20 minutes a day? I started it Sunday and managed it so far. Built 3 more guardsmen yesterday. Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. Technically, I cheated on the 20 minutes a day thing because I built the army 3 months ago. So very technically I cheated. So if this series works, and what I'm thinking I might do, because I think daily shorts might be a little bit too much, given as we're just trapped in the weeds of painting blue. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a big video, in a couple of weeks' time, that sort of talks about what I have done so far and where we're going with it. So like a kind of bit of a kickoff video, a bit of a summary so far. And then what I'll do is I'll release some like weekly shorts of what I did that week for 20 minutes a day, as it were. I think that would be less annoying for your subscription feeds. And maybe it'd be cool. We'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. If the content's varied enough, that's the thing. Because the first like 7 to 8 days of a unit of 5 Space Marines is always going to be, I spent all this time doing, and in this case, blue and then blue. But then it becomes, I did the black, the brown, the bone, the red, and then it's silver, and then it's gold, and then flesh, washes, highlights, done. Basing, decals, all that good stuff. So, yeah. I've been really enjoying it. I don't get any notifications that you post or go live at all. I have the all notifications on. Well, that's just strange. That's odd. That's silly YouTube. Notify Dan. Tell Dan I'm going live. I've told you once. I'll tell you again. Happy New Year to you, Colonel, and all of chat and Josh. Happy New Year to you too, Captain Mannerings. Hello, Mogus69. Nice. Hello, community. Right, shall we? Let's minimize some. Okay. So I'm gonna just pause the music just for a minute. We're vibing to the 80s, but we're just gonna get rid of some of this stuff, and we're just gonna start recording because we're gonna continue where we left off with the last thing. So I'm just gonna do this, and we are back with the GTS-06 air compressor set. Yes. So our last time turned out the power supply was indeed broken. It should not rattle like that, but this one has no rattle. So they've sent me a new one, very quick as well. So fantastic from Galarian. Massive thank you for them, to them for doing that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna now just see if we plug this in, if the little LED light comes on, which should usually be an indicator that it actually works. But if it does, then it means we're cooking and we can continue with this unboxing. So, wonderful customer service. I will give them that. That's excellent. Excellent news. So let's, here we go. There's a little LED light on it just here. Just there. So theoretically, that should light up. Theoretically. Now I'm short. We have life. It's green. It's green. Oh, right. Here we go. All right. I'm excited. Let's finally get some air going in this thing. So, overhead. Right. Last time, we got to this part where we plugged it in and nothing worked. It's already come to life. There we go, look at that. Right. Okay. It was me. It was the compressor, I swear. It wasn't me. Okay. Right. Let's go back to... So there's not actually an on-off button. There's just an on-off button for turning the... So that means it's off. That means it's on. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Right. There's probably a rule where you shouldn't do that, but there we go. We connect the air hose. So we're doing this again. The other thing I want to say about this set is that the instructions I think are really valuable. I really like these instructions. I think they're really, really well laid out. There's a lot. There's a nice amount of information in there. It's not just a series of pictures, which is really good. There's a series of pictures, and there's a bit of what's it called? Bit of text, which is just very, very valuable. Okay, we are connected. Whee! Oh yeah, we need to put the cup in. Oh, don't want to tighten it too much. I don't think. Let's just take the lid off. Like I said, I think I said last time, we're probably not going to actually do any airbrushing today, although we might if you guys out there in the chat convince me to do it. I can find a victim maybe and try and set up a way to do it, but probably not going to do any airbrushing today. But we are just making sure that the whole thing works and we're getting it unboxed and seeing what the vibe is. So here it is: buttons and indicator lights. So we have maximum pressure, pressure increase, pressure decrease, minimum pressure. So if I just press this button, will it then just leap up, or no? So it has to be on. So if I turn it on and then go maximum pressure, interesting. Okay, so this is interesting. So pulling this doesn't actually seem to do anything, as far as I know. But pulling it down is how we get the air to come out. So if I pressure decrease, makes sense. Minimum pressure. I feel like I could make a song out of the tones that are coming out of this if I cut the clips together. You probably can't hear it quite right, but like that's the so yeah, we got cool. All right, that works. It works. We have life. That's great. All right, so let's see what else it says in here. So we've got some recommended pressure settings. So 15 psi to 21 psi commonly used for detail spraying. 19 to 25 commonly used for most spraying scenarios. So that's probably the universe where we're gonna live, is around. Let's just go there. 23. Why not? Let's just leave it like that. 23 psi to 27 psi commonly used for priming and metallic paint sprayings. Okay, so 23 would let us do priming. 20, but also sit in that range of doing most spraying scenarios. Put a few drops of paint in cup, dilute paints to look like milk. There it is, the classic. If needed before pour into cup. Huh? Okay. Put a drop or two of paint directly into the fluid cavity to get a better view. All right. Begin to spray. Paint. Turn your... Oh, I see. Right, so you press it down to get the air going. And then you pull back to get the paint to go in. Oh, right, I get it. I get it. And then can control the retracement of main lever. So presumably then you want to sort of stick to around the sort of wider. I guess this is based on how tight you have it screwed in, which I know that I've messed up before on another airbrush. Okay, sounds good. Perfect spraying effect. Dilute paint with thinner. Add reduce air pressure or add undiluted paint. Okay, so you test that on something else that isn't the model. That's great. Disassembly and cleaning. Pour out the rest paint. Put several drops of airbrush cleaner into the cup. Block off the air cap with finger. Yeah, it's this thing where you backwash it, right? Yeah, I know that. And that makes it all bubble up in the cup in here. Block off the air cap with finger. Press down the main lever and pull back. Yeah. Release the airbrush cleaner into this pot. Repeat steps 2 to 4 until the cup is clear. Makes sense. And then on this page, this is the last page of instructions. Deep cleaning removes the handle. Loosen the needle, chucking nut. Pull out the needle using... Okay. Alright, well, we could deal with that a whole lot later. But that's it. It works. It's fairly neat and tidy as well. I quite like it as a setup. It's not like massive. It doesn't look like intimidating. This little compressor. I don't know if it's a good compressor. You guys will know more. But I feel like my setup isn't great for integrating something like this because it's very cramped and I don't have a lot of spare room around this joint. But it does feel quite neat and tidy, this. Like, it's small. I like that. It means I could probably integrate it somehow. Maybe put it on the desk over here. If it gives me enough. I mean, it's got quite a long... Yeah, so I could dust my room with it, for example. So that's good. Now read out the German version. I don't want to offend anyone. There we go. Fairly light and simple. It's not intimidating, I think. I think the best thing I could say about this is the set. Firstly, the set looks premium. This looks pretty cool. It doesn't like have like fanciness all over it, so I don't feel worried about breaking this. I feel like if I break it, like it feels good. It's got a nice weight to it. It feels all right in the hand. The action's a little something that I'd have to get used to. This kind of thing. It just involves like having precision with my pointer, which I don't know if I have so much because a lot of my sort of painting with a brush I use like this, and I can't. That doesn't feel good. But ultimately, this looks great. The compressor. This is my thing. Aesthetically, it looks fantastic. It doesn't look too prohibitive to me as somebody who's a complete and total novice. I've looked at some compressors in the past, and it looks like, you know, you need to have a sort of degree in thermodynamics to understand how it works, and you have like a proper pressure bar where you have to allow the thing to get it up to like 27 psi, and you have to put this bar through it, and you need to change this compressor rod. You need to do... No, this is just a very elegant little box. It's not too loud either, as far as I can. You know, if I put it on the maximum pressure, and it switches quite easily as well. So let's see if it switches like so. Tell me if you can hear this tone. It's good. It's good. It feels like that's designed for people exactly like me who are trying this for the very first time, which is cool. So yeah, overall, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. It's not giving me the heebie-jeebies. So I will have to do some actual thing. I think the first thing that I do with this is just going to be to prime a model. And yeah, but I'm not intimidated by it, which I think is the important thing. So yeah. It's good stuff. What do you guys think? I've stopped recording now, so you can share your true thoughts. What have we got? Mini Paint Dad with a €5 super chat. $5 if you zenithal a Tyranid. Why? What Tyranid? Push down for air, back for paint. Yeah. Do you wish the instructions were only online? Oh, you know me. You know, I love it when the instructions are online and I have to download them. And then it just says, for more information, check out the stuff in the box. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's very cool. Good for late night airbrushing. My first compressor sounded like a helicopter taking off. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is I think ultimately, because it's nice and quiet, it looks pretty sexy. It's not a intimidating set of things to get started. Now, obviously, the trials and tribulations of airbrushing, as I understand it, is that it's not just this that you need. Obviously, there's a lot of extra kit that helps things move along, and is kind of the things that you don't expect to you don't think about it, right? If I say to you, what do you need to paint a miniature with a brush? It's, well, I need a brush and I need something to wipe the paint off on. And you say, yeah, cup of water, off you go. Now, whilst you do need a cup of water, there's a couple of other things you need. So one of the things that I bought a long time ago, because some of you may remember, if you've been around the channel for a long time, I have a really bad airbrush. You know, and I tried to use it, actually, about 6 months ago, and it does not work. But anyway, I was recommended at the time to buy some extra kit to use. Turn you off. To buy some extra kit to go with it. That makes sense. So what I did is I bought some extra kit. So I bought this pot. This is a specific pot for airbrushing, apparently. This comes from, it's a Fengda Eco cleaning pot plus cleaning brush, cleaning picks plus reamer. So this is what this is, okay? So one of the things I did when I was practicing, when I tried the first time, is somebody said, well, now you need to clean it, so you need to get all the paint out. I was like, okay, cool. And they were like, just put some airbrush cleaner into it, and then spray it out into some water. And I had an open pot of water, and that's fine. But you're pushing air through an airbrush and blowing into water. So guess what happens? All the water plops out. So this little pot has a lid on it. So what you do is you pop the airbrush in there, and then you spray it in like that until it's empty. You have this little filter as well, which I believe comes off. Maybe. Yes, it does. So you can change this out. Yep. It's a little filter that can just come off. You can swap it in and out. And then, of course, you can also remove that as well to change out all your water. So probably fill that with a little bit of water. And then you can deposit your airbrush leavings nicely into that. Should be a metal thing to set the airbrush in. There is. It's in the box. There is a little airbrush thing. It is. Oh God. Hang on. There it is. Probably not putting that in right. So go just in there like that, and then you just like that. So I've got another stand for my airbrush. So yeah, and we just in we go into the pot until it's empty. And we have another thing. There's a dual airbrush holder with your compressor as well. Yes, it's these little boys. I've got them. They just slot onto the compressor, so I never have to hold my own airbrush, which is cool. So the other thing that I was recommended to buy a long time ago is some of these. So some of these little pots. We fill those with water. And we can just use this to squish the water from this into the airbrush pot. So that's another thing to buy. And the other thing that I bought to the day, actually I bought these ages ago. So the other things, and the guidance on the internet at the time, as I recall, said you don't need it, and also you do. And I've used these for things that weren't airbrushing, but we have airbrush cleaner and we have airbrush thinner from Vallejo. So these are all the things that you definitely do need, or if you ask somebody else, you definitely don't need. That's the other thing. It's like it's all this kind of thing. We had a question there. It was about how much PSI does that thing push and does it get hot? 27 PSI. It gets. I don't think it gets hot. There's little rubber feet on it, so it's not going to melt through or burn your desk or anything like that. So there is a bit of clearance. You can see. We'll find out if it gets hot once I actually do some airbrushing with it. So the other thing that I bought, and I'm going to open these live. Let me just go and get them. Make sure to not show you the front of this because it has my address on it, and I'm not going to accidentally do that again. The other thing we bought was a whole bunch of pipettes. These are way too big, but okay, fine, is what it is. These are massive, but I like it. Actually, to be fair, in my setup, having a massive pipette is actually quite useful because I have to do a lot of things almost at the almost at arm's length. So yeah, anyway, bought these enormous pipettes, which might be useful for us getting some paint into the airbrush. So there we go. Now, as you probably saw from the last time, we did also have what's it called? Galeri did also send me some Kaleido Colorworks paints, so we'll be using those for now, and then we'll branch out into some contrast paint, I'm sure. But the first thing, like I said, the first thing is going to be that we need to prime something, so that'll be the first test that we go through. But yeah, there's a whole raft of things that go into this, and that's one of my little concerns about airbrushing. For me, as somebody again who's a total and complete and utter novice, if we just go back to here, you know, whilst you don't need pipettes, you can use a brush and stuff like that. I do actually have some smaller ones somewhere as well, but I think, you know, I can't remember where those are. It feels like you require a lot of extra gear just to even get started. That's one of the things, like, for me, because they're not. When you buy a brush, you can buy a brush for pennies, and if it doesn't work, you can, or you break it, you can just replace it. These are a little bit more expensive as a thing, so you kind of want to get it right. So at a certain point, it's like, well, we need to make sure that we, you know, do all the things that we're supposed to do before we learn how to do shortcuts, as it were. So to take care of it in the best way possible. So having the cleaner to clean it properly, making sure you're doing the maintenance, this, that, and the other. All this kind of thing. It's a case of, as confidence grows, I'm sure you end up realizing that the things are more rugged than they are. But because it's a slightly more expensive purchase, you want to look after it. Now, I was sent this for free, of course, but I still want to look after it because I don't want to break it, because I don't want to say, yeah, I broke it. Because then it's not Galeri's fault. It's my fault that I broke it because I took too many shortcuts, as it were. So we're going to try and do it as properly as possible when we come to do it, based on what the general consensus, or indeed what Galeri themselves say. So we're going to go through that, and then I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna figure out how to do it my way, which is the thing. But that's it. So, yeah, at the second time of asking, it works. I like it. I'm not scared of it. I promise. So we'll have to figure out, maybe at the end of this month, we will actually do some priming with it, and then I'll be able to give you my full thoughts, and then we'll see. But I need a model. I need a victim, or at least a couple of victims, with which to do this airbrushing on. And I've got a couple of ideas of things to do. I'm leaning towards practicing on a Tau army and then executing on a Horus Heresy army. That's kind of what I think across the year that should be the order of operations, but we'll have to see. We'll have to figure it out. Of course, welcome to give me any advice that you that you may have or wish to impart. However, I'm probably not going to follow anything where it's like, oh no, don't do that, just do this instead. Because if you've been airbrushing for years, I want you to cast your mind back to when you first started and remember how you felt as you jumped into the world of airbrushing. But yeah, overall, it's pretty cool. I will have an affiliate link for Galeria. If you're interested in purchasing one, I can grab that and I will drop it in the Discord. And then any airbrush videos going forward. If you'd like to support the channel, you of course can by purchasing something from Galeria through using that link. All that good stuff, the usual thing. But yeah, I'm excited actually. I'm quite excited to start this journey of doing this in the background. But as mentioned, our Contrast Plus series will not change. Do not worry about that. If you're worried about that, don't be. You're all good. You'll never use a rattle can again. Oh, I bet you I will, because they don't make grey cere in an airbrush paint. Drop the link for it. Let me go and find it. Let's do that. In fact, let's restore stream to its rightful look, and then I'll tidy up. I'll find the restore stream. Okay, hang on. Let's get some tunes back on. And let's get these things back on the page. Boom. Alright, and then to my email inbox. What would it be? It would be... It would be in my inbox. There we go. What's it called? I am confused. I can't find it. Ugh. Oh. Forgot password, why not? Boom. We got it. Alright. Copy the link. Okay, so here is the link. And if you want to order something from Galeri and you share your coupon code with others, for every purchase someone makes using your coupon, you get the credit. You get 10% off if you use code Warhipster at checkout. And it's spelt like that. Apparently. Okay, copy shareable link, apparently. So does that one do anything different? If I do that. Yes. That link. So let's just stream settings. Let's just edit and put that into the how do we write this? I am affiliated. If you fancy joining me on this airbrushing journey, you can. And you can also support the channel at the same time and get 10% off at Galeri by clicking on this link. Boom. Save. Which airbrushing compressor did you get, Josh? This is called the GTS 06, I think. Yes. There's a bundle for the GTS 06. So the compressor is the Seren Air GTS 06. And the airbrush is the Classic Series CS36. There's a bundle. It's a bundle kit. It looks like this. The GTS 06. I will just clarify once again. Galeri sent me this for free. I didn't have to pay for it. So they are technically sponsoring the content, I would guess. I would say. But what I think I will do is, if I enjoy this, is I'll upgrade. Yeah, there it is. Seren Air compressor. Right, let's get this thing packed away. So it should be, if you refresh the stream, the link should also be, yeah, it should be in the description now. £58.50 with your discount code. Pretty good. There you go. £58.50 for a compressor and an airbrush. That is pretty good. It packs away quite easily as well. That's the other thing I will say. Having done this twice now. Packs away into quite a nice form factor. A nice little box. I should put the power supply in there as well. Oh. Orcs make great models to practice airbrushing on, by the way. I'm sure they do. I don't have a lot of spare ones of those. That'll do. Packed away. Lovely. We should pack away this stuff as well. I gotta say, I really do appreciate the confidence some of you seem to have that I'm going to be good at this. That's very kind. I wish I was as confident as you are. But I'm just not. But that's okay. We're learning, you know. That's the process. Whee! There we go. There we go. Well, it's all cleared away. Look at that. Boom. Clean desk. Ha, not clean. Covered in paint. Right, let's fiddle with the exposure settings, shall we? Let's pop that back down to there. I think that's where it was before. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah. All right. Cool. There we go. There we go. Any big YouTuber has good content on airbrushing, to be honest. But best tip, in my opinion, is still always thinner in the cup before paint. Since then, I've basically not had any problems with clogging. Oh. Cool. Someday I'll be a big YouTuber who will have nothing but bad airbrush content. So far we've got one stream where the power supply broke, one stream from like 3 years ago where I airbrushed, I want to say Pterodon turquoise over the top of a Drakari Raider, and today's stream, which was actually much more successful, I think. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to have a go. I'm excited to have a go. It'll be fine. It'll be all good. We'll eventually get there. And we'll just have some fun with it. Like I said, I would like to, by the end of the year, be reasonably confident on it and have done a project that I'm proud of. So there's a time for, like, you know, mucking it up, which is now. It's the early time. Whereas, you know, I've got tons of push fit intercessors somewhere in this room, which I will inevitably get to. But overall, setup feels easy. It's not intimidating as a product, the GTS 06. And yeah, it's just going to be technique, getting it right, thinning it down, making sure that that's correct. And that's one of the things that I have to figure out, is just like how to thin the paint down, this, that, and the other. I'll probably follow what they say in the instructions, and I'll sort of minimally look for what advice there is on the internet. But what I don't want to do, like I've said before, said this last week, is I don't want to make a video that is a rehash of what all those wonderful creators have made already. Because I feel like I'm not adding anything to the space there. Adding something to the space is me showing you how bad I am at it, and then learning to get good with it. It's not pretending I'm coming at it from a place of strength, because I'm not. I'm coming at it from a place of complete and total noviceness. That's the thing. That's what I'm hoping to do. And you know, you guys, by all means, guide me on my journey along. You know, drop whatever you can if you like, but yeah, we're gonna figure it out, and then by the end of the year I'll be like, well, I enjoyed it. I don't know when I'm gonna do it again, but I enjoyed it. Maybe it's like riding a bike. Once you've done it once, you know how to do it. Or maybe it's like defusing a bomb. Everything's different. It's interesting reading the chat, because best practice is to mix thinner and paint outside the cup. Mix in a medicine cup. But also, as a lot of people saying, mix it in the cup. Do you see what I mean? There's a lot of conflicting different advice, and I feel like there's just kind of figuring out the way I want to do it, as it were. So maybe I'll try it in the airbrush cup. Maybe I'll try it in a medicine cup. At a certain point, though, you've bought so many products to do one thing. Do you know what I mean? And now, finally, we are ready to apply some white. Meanwhile, Josh on his Contrast Plus video, I primed it grey here and I've already finished the model. So there we go. Anyway, chat, if you're enjoying the stream, please do leave a like on the stream. Are you excited to see me do some airbrushing at some point? I'll film it all as well, just to be clear. I will film it all. There will be content. Airbrushing is like witchcraft. Everybody does it their own way, and it's the only way that works. You've summed it up perfectly there, Grey Wolf. If you're to mix in the cup, thinner first, but best practice would be to pre-mix, but I've never bothered because it's more steps. True. The other thing that I'm interested with it is I've become so accustomed, as a contrast painter, I've come so accustomed to painting my way down. So we start from grey and we come up and we come down to the colour where we want them. I feel like there's a degree of that with airbrushing, but a lot of, again, most content that I see starts with a black undercoat, then a zenithal prime of yellow, of white. So you're coming up there and then coming down. So you're going like this. And that's an interesting step change for my brain, because my brain is so attuned to that way rather than that way, as you see. But there we go. You also need to rediscover contrast paints because they act and look different out of an airbrush. Oh yeah, yeah. They don't do the contrast thing when they come out of the airbrush. They're just essentially at a certain point they're just that color, which is a mixture between the dark and the light pigment, airbrushed at the same point without doing the contrasting thing. So it's a flat color. That's the thing with airbrushing, is I know this for a fact, is you don't get shade in there by airbrushing a contrast paint. What you do is you just get the contrast color that's a mix between the two different pigments that are in there, and that's the color that you get. So it's not going to be the same thing, and it's also not going to do the contrast thing, which is why a lot of people do the zenithal thing, because that puts the shading in there, as it were. That's how it works. So you put the shading in there by pre-painting it with the shading by doing the zenithal priming, or you do the shading after, or you do the thing where you varnish it and then put an oil wash over the top. This is the thing. There's so many different things about it that it's like, it's not my vibe usually, but hey, we have to try new things, whilst also doggedly sticking to the thing that we do week in, week out, 2 to 3 times a day. You ever use Flow Improver when you use the contrast? I actually have. A little while ago, long time ago, when I did my first 24-hour stream, I did a Sylvaneth army, and in order to just speed up the process, I used airbrush thinner instead of using medium. I was just going blip blip with the airbrush thinner onto a dry palette. That's what I did at a certain point. But there we go. It's because I was tired of mixing. I was just like, I've got to go quickly. And I was also tired. I was exhausted at that point. Oh, what should we do then? What should we do for 30 minutes to an hour? Shall we paint rot swords? Shall we build models? Shall we sit and talk? Shall we gift some memberships? Let's gift some memberships. You can join in with this as well if you like. I'm going to gift out some memberships. I'm going to gift 5 to the community right now. See a lot of grey names. See if we can get some grey names green. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Boom. Congratulations to those. That puts us on 16. We're 34 away now from our goal of 50 for the day. What can I do? I can paint rot swords, or I can build. Or I can build Lord of the Rings miniatures. How to kill your audience. Are you doing a new year, new army, or no time? I'm technically doing one. I'm technically doing one by just not by any dint of on purpose. I'm doing Ultramarines entirely by accident. Because I'm doing my 20 minutes a day thing. So we were called in by the siren song of the airbrush. Well, exactly. welcome. You're not airbrushing tonight, no. So we were finishing off what we started last week, but it broke. So last week we tried to start the airbrushing, literally do the unboxing and like the initial part of my first video. Tried to do it live, and then the power supply didn't work. So tonight I wanted to finish that off and do that live with you guys. Also talk to you guys about that sort of thing, which we've now done. But I need a model to do it on. And I have a lot of models around me. I am surrounded by a sea of models. But they're all something that is either primed or is half painted, or is fully painted. So actually airbrushing something over the top of that now would ruin it. There is only one model that is in front of me right now that is not primed, and you're not allowed to see what it is. So I can't do that live. That would be a shame. So yeah, it's the Ultramarines thing is more about learning moderation for me, and also just painting in a realistic way, like people who are very, very busy and have busy lives. I said to the other day, it's how normal people would paint with a full-time job and a family, versus me, who is a dink with a YouTube channel. Nah, do a Nightbringer live. I don't actually have a Nightbringer, you know. I don't have one. But it's such a horrid model, you know. Isn't it fine cast? It does not tell me. It's just not the original Nightbringer is not there. Ultramarines is all about selling out, Josh. How could you? I understand your point of view there, Captain Mannerings. May I proffer another? Very often, Warhammer, for the most part of my life, has been considered a niche hobby. It would make you somewhat of a let's just say you don't follow the norm by being a Warhammer painter. You know, it's an alternative nerdy hobby, right? So it means you're breaking the mold. Because why are you painting your miniatures, young boy? You should be outside kicking a football. So on and so forth, right? Now, if I may, many people's first start is with Ultramarines. That's where many people start. Okay. So I would argue, as an alternative, that Ultramarines are in fact not selling out. They are rock and roll in the grand scheme of things. Now, within our hobby, sure, you have your opinions and I have mine. But in the world as it is, they are rock and roll. They are punk rock. Oh, the new Nightbringer you're talking about. Oh, I see. Well, I wouldn't know if I had that. You know. Boxes come and go all the time. Who knows? You know? The Metallica of Warhammer. You could say that, Cheese Risk. During their, let's say, where would you... Not their Kill 'Em All era is way too punk rock. You know, as being a counterpoint to the hair metal and glam metal movements of the time. And Master of Puppets, of course, is where they truly explode on the scene. But maybe the Ultramarines could be... Oh, no, that's really offensive. In the grand scheme of things, you could say that Ultramarines would be like the Load Reload era, or the Garage Inc. era. I was going to say the Black Album, but I feel like real Metallica fans would come and beat me up for that. Well, a certain part of Metallica fans, because obviously it's all you know. There's the true Metallica fans, then there's the sellout Metallica fans, then there's the poppy Metallica fans, and then there's the weirdo new kids who like Saint Anger. Ultramarines equals 200,000 subscribers. Oh, can you imagine? I just want 100,000. We're not far away. 2,500 left to go. I need to turn my heater off. Give me a second. Oh, and we're back. Oh no! I forgot to pack the instructions away. Oh well. Get those in at some point. Anyway. What are you guys working on? Airbrush Bard's family for the lols. Even if I ruin those models with the airbrush, I think it's still an improvement. Eldar Storm Guardians. I just did 2,000, I'm guessing custodes, in a week. There you go. Rubric Marines. Nice. 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 Who's buying Necrons this weekend? Need a power sword recipe for 5 of them. For 5 Space Marines. Five Eldar power swords. But we've done so many Eldar power swords, my friend. We've done Lycus, Asaman, Baharoth. Ionis Cryptborn. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Painting Miao Ying. Nice. Blood Bowl Bretonians. Galgus Pus, but I stopped at the Minotaurum Green as it was streaky following your video. Oh, I see. Do you know one thing that can actually help with that? If it's streaky. You can just incorporate, because it's Nurgle, you can just incorporate that into the model anyway. Just go over it with you can just blend in a bit of Black Templar over the top of it, and then I know that sounds like I'm sort of compounding the problem, but it can like make it look intentional as opposed to being accidental. Or go over it using some little nicks of like Scrag Brown to give it like that sort of that dripping feeling. That's one way to help with it. I do find though, if you really don't like it, if you just wet the brush and like get on a bit of tissue paper, touch off that water, and just apply some gentle pressure with the brush for a little while, you can buffer it out. You can kind of get most of it up. You don't want to apply too much pressure because you'll scratch the model. But if you just, for a little while, you can start to pull out some of that stuff. Obviously, it's getting rid of a contrast layer, so you end up with a sort of gap in your contrast paint. But that can help mitigate for those sorts of things. Like I said, it gives you a bit of a gap. But because it's Nurgle, it doesn't really matter too much because the next layer after on Gelgus Plus, the next layer after that is Mantis Warriors Green anyway. So you're going over it technically. Just finished 10 box walkers in batch painting. Boy, did I enjoy those. Great models for airbrushing and just slapping watery colours on the skin. Yeah, they are fun. Still working through these Space Walls right now. Tyrian Blue Shade is a game changer, isn't it? Isn't it just? I love it. This is where I demand a new black recipe for the Templars I've started. Another one? Not another one? Vespid Stingwings. Can't start for 2 weeks now. Need a kick in my butt. I'm not the one to kick you. But I am the one to gently encourage you. Because I believe in you, Lisu 3000. I've seen your work. It's very good work. And you'll crush it. I do like Destroyers, but just not feeling 40k. That's fair. That's fair. I'm actually contemplating buying the Destroyers box. I don't know why, but I am contemplating it. But I was like, hang on, there's Ophidians in there. There's a Hex Mark in there. There's 2 big Locust Heavy Destroyers, is that what they're called? And there's some Scorpex. And I have the Scorpex Destroyers from when Indomitus came out. So I could finish those and then add 3 more to make a big unit of 6. And I was like, what am I doing? It's not like I'm already busy enough. Why would I order more? That being said, a couple of weeks ago, some of you may know, the Horus Heresy box was went on pre-order. The one with the Dreadnought and the Breaches and the Cataphractii or Tartarus, whatever they are, whichever ones that are in there. I did order one of those with the intention of using it for airbrushing and stuff, and then remembered I have a bunch of other Space Marines anyway, and that was a stupid idea, but there we go. How are you priming stuff in this cold weather, Mr. Hipster? One of the best things you can do, fill up a sink to, like, if you've got a primer can, fill up a sink. You know, Philippa. Fill up a sink with warm, not hot, but warm water. And then put your cans in. Right? Not up to here, because you don't want water to go into the spout, but go up to about here. Right? Put your cans in for about a minute and a half. Right? Give it a good shake. Put it in for another 30 seconds. Because what it'll do is just do the thing. And then when you get it out, if the can is warm to your touch, you're good to go. You're good to go. You can do the quick version, which is run it under a hot tap, but be very careful that you don't get water in the spraying bit, for lack of a better word. The Iron Warrior box. Yeah. Oh, the Thorin Oak nozzle. Thank you. Cap. Very good. Are the Thorin Oakenshield Company the same models in the Hunt for the Arkenstone game? That's a good question. Let's go and find out. Thorin Oakenshield and Company. Hunt for the Arkenstone. Images. They are indeed the same models. The different one you can buy is the Champions of Erebor. Which is the... I think... Are they resin? They might be. Yep. I think they're fine cast resin, but they're the ones from Battle of the Five Armies after they've defeated Smaug. But yes, they are the same. So if you buy the Hunt for the Arkenstone game, you've got everything you need. You don't need to buy them both. Went away to grab a drink and came back to think that you were talking about warming up your bottles of Coke. Oh, no. No. Warm up your priming cans. The thing is, I always say with priming, you don't want to do this So like when you're priming a set of miniatures, you don't want to across all of it, especially in the cold weather. Instead, what you want to do is you want to be very targeted with it. So we put it on the. I use the stick, but you can. What I do is I prime each one with just 3 blasts from angles. So it goes 1, 2, 3. So if I've got the, say this is the arm of a stick. Model. What I'll do is I'll go from this angle 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll turn it and then go straight on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I'll go like that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. I'll then go to the other side, same thing at those 3 angles, and then I'll just do a quick one, like maybe 1 or 2 blasts from the top down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you do it all from that distance. Always make sure to give it this distance. We have a mutual friend, Jamie P. How is Jamie? I haven't spoken to him in ages. Coke appears in every single one of your live videos. Indeed it does. And yet not sponsored for some reason. Please put out some tutorials for the Rohan heroes. You've been teasing them for ages and I'm holding off doing mine until then. I know you've got those suckers assembled and ready. I have, Andrew. I have indeed. They're primed as well. Freylaf, Olwyn and Leaf. They are all primed and built. I also have Eowyn, Gamling, Elfhelm, Daelwyn. He's not built. I need to build and prime him. Theodred as well. And I think that's everyone on horse. I need to build Hammer. Anyway, point is, they are built, they are primed, they are waiting for me to go. What I haven't had is time to do them. So, hopefully, tail end of this month. What was I saying? Yes, I will get them done soon. I think I was trying to decide last night how many more riders I want to do, which is why Rohan Warriors, Riders of Rohan and Warriors of Rohan Royal Knights were on the table. So I've currently got this many. Hang on, I'll show you guys. That's a captain, and that's a banner. So for our Ardacon series, I'm trying to figure out what the most efficient way to do a Rohan video is, given as we've already done a bunch of Rohan videos. Also, what is the core of a Rohan army? Is it... I've already got 6, bear in mind, 6 Riders of Rohan. Is it to do 6 more and have 12, or is it to do 12 more and have 18? So this is everything that we've got Rohirrim-wise. That's just basic. So Captain, Banner, 6 Riders of Rohan there, and 6 Rohan Royal Knights. We have 15 painted horses to stick these to, and then paint for a video. But then we also have Eowyn, Gamling, and so on and so forth. We've got all of them as well to do. So it's just a case of getting them done and finding the time to do it. I'm probably going to take a Rohan list to Ardacon. I'm not sure which one yet. My instinct is possibly to go with Riders of Aemir. Or Ride Out, because we've got Aragorn and Legolas on horse as well, which would be cool to do as part of the Rohan experience. So yeah, it's just finding the balance and the time. At the moment, I'm a little busy with something else. And I'm about to go on a quest to get as much of the Nurgle stuff done as well. Because we've only done 5 rot swords, which I can show you actually. These 5 rot swords. So we've done 5 rot swords. There they are. Our 5 rot swords. Very familiar, I'm sure, to fans of Dark Water. So there we go. There's 2. 3, 4. And 5. So yeah, nothing too different to what we've done with Dark Water. But yeah, I've had some other stuff to do. So this is what's next. Is 1, 2, and 3. Mostly just going to focus on these 3 for the video because it's the musician, the banner, and the champion. So we do have another 2 to just sort of paint for the background, because there's not actually a ton of variation in amongst them. So that's the next thing to do, and then after that we've got Putrid Blight Kings and Sloven Knights and Pestigors as well to get on with. But yeah, been a little bit distracted. I'll be painting something else in the meantime. That sounds good. Oh, actually, this is what I was going to say. This is one of the things that we could have done tonight. Is the armor color recipe the same as in Darkwater? It is. It is indeed. So I think I've determined what the next, at least one of the next videos to do for Ardacon series is, and it's to get the 3 hunters done. Because with the 3 hunters, what we can do is we can unlock a bunch of different lists, but crucially, the thing to make this really cool and interesting is to do the 3 hunters with the Grey Company. So it's to do Rangers of the North and Halberad as well. But to, at the same time, also do Warriors of the Dead, so that we can do Return of the King, which is the other list that they appear in. What size bases are the Pestigors on? They are on 32mm bases, I believe. So this is the... Should we have a look? Just have a look at this. See what the vibe is. Aragorn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. Legolas, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8 pieces. Gimli, 19, 18, 21, or 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 9 pieces. 26 components in total. I mean, should we just get on with this? Should we just do this? Let's just do it. We'll do it. We'll build Aragorn maybe or something. While still chatting for a bit. So yeah, I thought that would be a good video. Would be basically the King of the Dead, Heralds of the Dead, Warriors of the Dead, and Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli, Halberad, and the Rangers of the North, and do that all in one. Are the models better looking than the old Fellowship of the Ring Band? Oh yeah. These are new Games Workshop plastics. Well, not that new. The King of the Dead and Heralds of the Dead came out not too long ago, as did this version of Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. This is the best version of them, for sure. Then the other day, I was thinking as well, what would be a really funny video is just to paint all the Aragorns that I have. What size bases are Poxwalkers on? I think they're on 25 mils. A good proxy would actually be to use Pox Wretches, Michael Penny. From Darkwater, which you can pre-order now separately. Pox Wretches and Maya Kelpies. You get 14 of those in a box. They are on 25 mils. So yeah, the question is whether or not I need to get any Warriors of the Dead on horse. I don't think I need to, because ultimately the scheme is the same, so I probably won't. But I do have, you'll be pleased to know, I don't just have see-through plastic Warriors of the Dead. So yeah. Do, 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 do. These blood claws are getting tedious now. Chainsaws and bolt pistols next. Time to summon Black Legion. I can't remember if it was Blood Claws or the other one, Grey Hunters, that I did. I think it was the Blood Claws that I did last. I think I had the exact same reaction that you had, Mixter, as I was painting through them. I was like, oh god, I've had to do so many of these now. It's why I haven't, like, busted a gut to get the Wolfguard Terminators done. I want to do them. I want to do them when I have like 3 days spare to do them, which I haven't had for a very long. Well, I had that over Christmas, but that was Christmas, and I was having time off, which felt like it was a better choice. We painted 600 models. What more do you want from me? More models. Oh yeah, I get it. Fair. I just need to paint these 5 rot swords to take me to 20, and I have to get that done before the 10th comes around to maintain this this average of 2 a day. Should be fairly doable, to be fair. They're only rot swords. Well, there's them, 5 Blight Kings, 10 Pestigors, 3 Sloven Knights. So that's 20, 10, 15, 20, 23 models. That I am currently lagging behind on the year. Which is not great. It's not great for my it's not great for my numbers. Gotta pump those numbers. Those are rookie numbers, bro. I'm going to make like 180 videos this year. Somewhere in that region. Long form videos. Everything keeps shouting at me to make shorts content, and I just don't want to. Which is why partly why I'm doing the 20 minutes a day thing. But also that's just fun for me. I really have to hope that just doing 20 minutes a day on the Ultramarines is enough to get them done before 11th edition comes. Because I would be sad if 11th edition arrives and it's like, oh yeah, no, this is now a 1500 point army. This goes together weird. I'll also be really sad if it's if it turns out it's now like a 2,300 point army. So I'm like, finally finished. Guess again. Oh. Pivot to 30-second shorts exclusively and do 10,000 videos. Yeah? Yeah, could do that. Could do that. Divide up my tutorials into 1-minute shorts. Come back tomorrow for part 2. Come back tomorrow for part 56. I feel like quite rightly that would enrage a lot of people. I'm rebasing my Blight Kings just now. Do you think they will blend in as rot swords with the new one? Yeah, I think you could use the old Blight Kings as rot swords. What I haven't checked with my Blight Kings is whether or not they kind of work side by side. And I might do that at some point. Because I've done a set of 5 Putrid Blight Kings before when they came out with full Goth Shudderhood. So if you haven't already, you can go and do that video on the channel. So we've done a Putrid Blight Kings video before. Well, not even technically, we just have. What if 11th is Blood Angels? I will be shocked, nay, appalled. No, I will be pleasantly surprised. But they won't be. They won't be Blood Angels specific models. They might be generic models painted as Blood Angels. We've seen them do that now with Age of Sigmar. They did the launch set. They were painted as Hallowed Knights, but all of the all of the multi-part kits came out, and they're all Hammers of Sigma on the front, as they were always going to be, because there's coherency within the range, right? What you don't want is a situation where someone comes in for the very first time, and they see all of the models from one faction are painted red, apart from... No, sorry. All the models from the faction that they want to do is painted blue, but then these ones specifically are painted red. Also, if it's going to be Blood Angel specific, what's left? Nothing. They've done it. It's all complete. Unless the launch box is just a way to get a Primaris version of Brother Corbulo out into the world, which kind of feels like a lot of fuss to get one tiny apothecary man out into the universe. So it's unlikely. Didn't Dark Imperium push? Dark Vengeance did. Dark Vengeance had Dark Angels in them. Terminators. You reckon there'll be Terminators in the new box? That would be hilarious. Here's a new mark of Terminator. My God. They've been listening. They've been listening to me. Do you know what would be really funny? Is if they brought back in Horus Heresy stuff. Right, do you know what we've decided? You can have your Leviathan Dreadnoughts again. I can't tell if the community would be mad about that or happy about that. Librarian Dreadnought, that's true. That's true. No, they did. They've already redesigned that. Psycom 45. They redesigned it into the bin. In the same way they redesigned the Death Company Dreadnought. The entirety of that Dreadnought kit was distilled down into a single skull and crossbones piece of plastic that you can use to denote your Death Company Dreadnoughts. I'm not bitter about it. Doesn't enrage me every day when I think about it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's in the box. If, as it's rumoured, fast attack is going to be one of the focuses for the next edition, I feel like it's probably time to finally engage in a little light White Scars action, you know? Rather than paint that into Blood Angels. We're going to do the launch box. If Games Workshop sends it to me, we're going to do the launch box in whatever I think is most suitable to the contents of that box. As it stands right now, we will have, well, hopefully, by the time that happens, we will have an Ultramarines army, a Blood Angels army, the beginnings of a Salamanders army, and Space Wolves as well. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they've got cooking. I do think though it would be quite fun if they did a lieutenant in Terminator armor. That would be good. Good evening, Chris. Alright, we've built Aragorn. Interested in painting a full Salamander's army? I would like to, Carl. I'd like to paint my full Salamander's army. I just want like a few more bits and pieces that read definitely as Salamanders. One of the things I was really hoping for was that there would be a multi-part Infernus Marines kit that would come with an alternate weapon option, because that's, you know, traditionally what's happened. But there wasn't, and so I didn't. But I have done obviously we've done Vulcan Histan twice on the channel. Aragorn, he built. That wasn't too bad. 15 minutes that took. Terminators and hover bikes. There was a time. Do you have some discounts in the GW shop? I don't. But I do have an affiliate link with Firestorm Games if you wish to buy stuff at a discounted rate. But no, I pay full price for everything that I buy. Other than stuff that I buy from Firestorm, for example. Or any other independent retailer. 11 and 10. Do White Scars box with no bikes or jump packs. Yeah, good. That is a vibe. It's not really on brand for them, though, is it? You know. And we're all about brand metrics around here, as you can tell. We've got such a strong brand identity of the Warhipster channel. You know, up there with the likes of McDonald's and Nike. Salamanders are just Infernus Marines and war suits with heavy flamers, aren't they? Have I read that already? I think I have. I didn't fancy the idea of doing 30 push fit Infernus Marines at the time, so I just ended up not doing it. Which is why I didn't continue. Oh yeah, we did a Terminator chaplain as well, actually. For the Salamanders. What we haven't done is gone back and redone Adrax Agatone, which I was going to do. I was going to order the Combat Patrol, but it sold out really quickly. I was only able to snag a Imperial Fists Combat Patrol because I found one on I think it was Zatu Games, had an Imperial Fist Combat Patrol, and I was like, I mean, that one's a really good deal for Terminators and Heavy Intercessors, so I'll get that. Of course, there's also the Imperial Fists army that I want to do, but I was saying this the other day. I think because contrast painting and probably airbrushes as well and all that kind of thing have made painting yellow so easy that they're not actually that popular a video anymore. When you do like how to get a really good yellow, that kind of thing. Also, just, you know, the miniature painting market is completely oversaturated with content. Hence why I think what we're going to be doing with the airbrush is going to be interesting content, because I feel like at least I'm, like I was saying earlier, just adding something a little bit new to the conversation. In the form of, here's me doing it wrong. 10, 11, and 13. Three-year-old video, yeah? Which one? My Salamanders videos? They are old. Well, in the grand scheme of things, they're not that old, but I guess in YouTube land. No doing pink and yellow airbrush. Oh man. I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, the amount of times I get a comment on an Imperial Fist video that I do, or have done in the past, saying, "Did you know? Did you know that cigarette lighters were invented before matches?" No, that's not what I get. Did you know that if you do pink first through an airbrush and then apply the yellow over, it gives a really good yellow? And I'm like, I am aware. This isn't the safely kept secret that you think it is. And I guarantee if I was to do the Horus Heresy stuff as Imperial Fist, it would be the same thing. Did you know? That cigarette lighters were invented before matches? When I lived in London, that was one of those casual phrases that you, in the house that I lived in with the guys. These days, whenever you say it, people hear a certain thing. So whenever I hear someone say, "Did you know?" I immediately think in my head that cigarette lighters were invented before matches. In the same way that I feel like most people here will know if I say, "I've got a feeling," what's the first line that comes to mind when I say that? That's tonight's going to be a good night. Exactly. So yeah, when I lived in London, it was exactly the same thing with, did you know the cigarette lighters were invented before matches? Oh, yeah. Fallen into that trap again. or another similar one. Question? Your method on Grand Cathay Jade Warriors was the best. My minis turned out amazing. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for saying that. I'm really hoping that Games Workshop sends me the next box of Cathay with plenty of time so that I can do the Lantern, the Shugengan Lord and the Knights and the Cannon, and then do all that stuff as well, and just be like, there we go. Full Cathay release, at long last. All done. Similarly though, if they don't send me the new Battalion box, I will also definitely do the Sky Lantern stuff then, because I won't have anything else to do. And unlike some projects, it's all built and primed. It's just that pesky painting that needs to be done. Is that Destiny Child song? Exactly. Did you know that when Rico Mortensen... No, tell me more. What? Just started painting Tyranids. Nice. Getting ready for that Tyranid Prime coming out. Whenever that happens. I keep forgetting he exists. I was saying to Joe, I really ought to just... I really ought to just finish off my Tyranids at some point. I really don't have that much left. And it would be a good idea to get it done. I was thinking maybe like... So 2 years ago when Scaventide came out, we had that brief period between releases where they didn't send me anything, and I was like, alright, let's do some Spearheads. So I did Project Spearhead. I'm hoping that in that gap, if that gap exists again, I'm hoping that gap exists in the content lineup, and that during that time what I can do is I can do the last few bits of Tyranids before this edition is over, because the only things I haven't done are the Lictor, the Bio/Pyrovore, the Gene Stealers, and the Termagant? No, the Hormagaunts. And it would be nice to finish everything from the Tyranids. For me, at least. Because I was gonna was Scaventide really 2 years ago? Yeah, it's going to it was going it was, oh god, what am I trying to say? It will be 2 years this year. In July, August. Because it's 2016 now, so guess what? 2017? 5th edition. 5th edition Age of Sigmar. It's on the way. Get hyped now. Which means they've got this year and the beginning of next year, baby. Because they're not going to index the game, I don't think. They got this year to get the last, I want to say, 11 battle tomes. I think there's 11. What is it? Lumineth, Seraphon, Sylvaneth, Fire Slayers and Cities. Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Disciples of Zinch, Hedonites of Slanesh, Ogre Tribes and Sons of Bahamut. I think is all that's left. What do you think this year's big release is going to be? In summer, it's going to be 11th edition. 11th edition 40k. There is no doubt. The interesting thing about what's going to be in that box is I have no idea. I have no predictions. We know it's going to be Space Marines because it always is. But as to what they're going to be facing off against, I have no idea. And I've seen the rumors that say this year it's going to be Blood Angels from versus Orcs. Guess what it was before Leviathan came out? Anyone want to hazard a guess as to what the rumors were then? When you think Grey Knights will get a new line of models? I don't know. Could be next edition. Could be never. Could be 13th edition. More YouTube members than models painted. If we get that trend up, how many models would you paint in 2026? Oh God, I would try and do like 2,000 models this year. I would do nothing but I'll just constantly paint models all day. I mean, I do that anyway, but like I would be like, guys, the community has promised. Did you count how many models did you paint in 2025? Yes. I did 600. And they're all here on the channel. I don't think that there was very much that I didn't do that wasn't on the. In fact, there was one. No. There were 2 models last year that I didn't film because I'd already filmed them before. I really hope it isn't Orcs. The reason being is that Orcs have had 2 big refreshes. Why do they need a third? There are factions that are more deserving of a big refresh. And it's already been mentioned. Drukhari are right there. You know? Drukhari are a faction that has needed redoing. If that's what we're accepting, obviously I would much prefer for them to say, hey, it's going to be Space Marines versus a brand new faction entirely, and not be more remasters of models. But if they're going to do it, I would much rather them do it for something that really needs it, not use the launch box as a way to get you new Orc bikes. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? Because how much of it really needs doing? Given how much they've had that's new. They've had something like 25 to 30 new kits in the last six to 9 years. They've had tons. Tons and tons and tons. I'll count them now before we go. Oaks. Filters. No. Boss Snickrot. He was new. Deathcopter's not technically new, but they were a redo. There was a new boys kit. There was a new war boss in Mega Armor. There was the Hunter rig. The Beast boss on Squigosaur. Mozrog, which is the same model. The Kill rig, which is the same model. Pain boss. Big Ed boss bunker. Beast boss. Squighog boys. Zogrod. Beast Snagger boys. Gazkull. Obviously there's the Shock Jump Dragster. Custom Boom Blaster. The Rucker Truck. The Mega Track. The Death Killer. The Boom Dacker. Orc Knobs. They didn't get redone, did they? Then there was there was the Big Mech that we did. The Wrecker Crew. Commandos. Yeah. Tons. There we go. They've had tons, and it's like, well, what's left? Oh, well, we're gonna redo the bikes and the Storm Boys. All right, but Drukhari are right there. And I'm not saying that they would put them in. And I know this is going to be an unpopular thing for me to say. But the Commander Farsight model was very pretty, as was those two that they previewed last preview, the two big battle suits. So maybe there is a universe where like stuff like the Crisis, the Fire Warriors. I'm pretty sure the Fire Warriors kit hasn't changed since they were released. You know, the new stealth suits are very nice. You know, there is a world where that is also a possibility. They're not going to be in a launch box for sure, because it's too much looking like good guys versus good guys. And that's probably one of the reasons why Drukhari won't go into a launch box either, because it looks too much like good guys versus good guys. But I mean, just go and look at the Drukhari range, man. Like, Homunculus, the Witches, the Kabbalite Warriors, the Racks, the Scourges, the Hellion. Like, you've got some really cool things. Like the new Mandrakes are really good. The Incubi are really good. Lady Malice was wonderful. The Archon is a wonderful. Lilith Hesperax, wonderful. Drazar, wonderful models, right? They're really, really nice. It would be very nice for them to get their main core stuff redone. But if they will, I don't know. Did I miss the airbrush stuff? You haven't missed any actual airbrushing. What you missed was the remainder of the me figuring it out, showing you what I've bought, the unboxing, and getting it to work. That's what you missed. There will be proper airbrush video. It won't be a live stream because I need to sit and do it in a controlled environment. The other dark horse option, and it's not going to be this, what I would love more than anything is demons. It's not going to be demons. It just won't be. They didn't get a codex this edition, and I don't think they got a codex this edition because they thought the community would be like, ah, yeah, get rid of them. It's fine. We don't care. They're Age of Sigmar models anyway. Who cares? I genuinely think that's what they thought. And then everyone went, like, same thing with the Death Watch. The Death Watch, they went, yeah, we're going to get rid of them. And then everyone went, what the actual? So they went, okay. We won't get rid of the Death Watch. Here's an index. Here's a proper thing. Do you know what I mean? They've done that for Chaos Demons. I think they genuinely wanted to get them out. Which is why they're not going to be an 11th edition box, because they wanted to get them out in the first place. Which is a strange thing to want to do, but there we go. So, because they've passed them off into the God Legions as well. What I would love is undivided demons, like an actual just a set of demons that are not Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, or Tzeentch. They are undivided demons. They are just entities of the warp to go alongside mortals who are not Space Marines, but they are chaotic in a sense. Because you have things like the Dark Commune and the Accursed Cultists, which are beautiful, but it would be really nice to have stuff like Traitor Guard, what they call Gauls, bit like Beastmen and stuff like that. And it would be really nice to have just, you know, cultists of chaos and this, that, and the other. It'd be really cool to have all of that come into its own The Lost and the Damned box, which is what I would love for them to do, for it to be Space Marines versus the Lost and the Damned. So let's just say, even if you say Blood Angels versus the Lost and the Damned, and you called it that, that would be spectacular. It would be the best thing ever. It's not going to be that. But if it is that, I will eat my own shirt. Blaster Carded Painting, thank you very much for becoming a member, you absolute bloody legend, you. And LVS9U, thank you very much for becoming a member as well. You are very, very, very kind. It's a good job that we stayed live for an extra 11 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Techno Demons would slap. Well, yeah, so like something like Vashtor would actually have something to do. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. That would be wonderful, wonderful thing to come out. I would love to see that. It's not going to be that, though. It's just not going to. It's not going to happen. How do I paint giant models without using an airbrush? If you don't mind me asking, like Xander, I'd love to paint the lantern, but it's one hell of an intimidating task. Well, to be fair, I have a lot of videos on the channel of painting massive models. It's basically a case of the best thing that you can possibly, the way to approach things like that is to break it up into the sections and do it a section at a time and use multiple layers of thinned down version of contrast paints, which is how I do it. So it's how we were able to do this Warhound Titan that you can't see, but out here we've got things like Krondys, Karazai, Archaon, that's Aventus Firestrike, Ionis Cryptborn, all in here. Zarek the Silent King, the Void Dragon, Kragnos, Be'lakor, a Lord of Change, a Keeper of Secrets, Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, Great Unclean One. We haven't done Rotigus. We've done Rogal Dawns, we've done Hecaton Land Fortress, we've done Blood Angels tanks, we've done Space Wolves tanks, we've done multiple Dreadnoughts. We've done... What else have we done that's big? We've done Prince Vordry. We've done Teclis. We've done the Revenant Draconith. We've done 3 Cathayan Giant Sentinels. I just saw them up there. We've done Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights. There's a Chaos Knight up here, which you can't see, but it is up there. It's right there. There's ways to do it, and it's about thinning that paint a little bit more than normal, breaking it up into sections and looking at the sections. We did a Fellblade, Legion Fellblade. So it's like when you look at the side of a tank, you might look at a tank like this Rogel Dawn, for example. You might look at this Rogel Dawn and think, well, if I break that up into sections, that's, you know, turret and body. That's 2 sections. No. If you look at this side of the tank here, the way I would break this up is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 sections just on the side of that anyway. And I just approach them, each one, to finish it off. In the same way that with the Space Marine, when you look at a Space Marine's leg, there's the boot, there's the top of the boot, there's the shin, there's the knee, there's the top of the knee, there's the back of the leg, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean about it, is you break it up into those sections, take it a panel at a time, move it at a time. That's the way to do it. Just join. What's the plan with the airbrush? The plan with the airbrush is this year is I'm going to try and learn how to airbrush. We have unboxed it. We've had a look at it. We've figured it out. We know how to use it-ish. But without actually having any paint through it. That's what we're going to be doing. And this year we're just going to figure out how to learn how to paint it. It is not going to be integrated or used in any of our Contrast Plus videos now or forever going forward. It's just not. It's a separate thing entirely. Contrast Plus will remain untouched by the airbrush. It stays the same. Any plans to come to Adepticon this year? I would love to, our Powers 4, but that costs a lot of money and I don't have any of that. So someday I'll try and get you guys to fund me going there. But I'm really bad at asking people to help me out with that kind of thing. So no, not plans this year. Maybe next year, who knows? We'll have to see where we're at financially, but no, I couldn't possibly afford it this year. Yeah, just too much. Unfortunately. Anyway, it's 11:15. We've gone over by 15 minutes. It's time for me to conclude the stream. So I'm going to run off now, guys. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for cheering me on as we kicked off our airbrush journey properly this time. We were able to finish it off. And thanks for chatting. Welcome to 2026 proper. This is our first official scheduled stream of the year. We will be back tomorrow with Contrast Plus, how to paint Festus the Leech Lord. So if you would like to see Festus the Leech Lord, Contrast Plus, how to paint him, that video is coming out tomorrow. Hopefully, if tonight and tomorrow I finish off the Rot Swords, that video will get posted on Friday. Hopefully. And Saturday, there's some content which I can't tell you about, but you can all probably guess what it's going to be. So, you know, do with that as you will. But I can't tell you what it is on Saturday. But there is something coming out on Saturday. But there we go. And we'll be back live on Monday, hopefully. I think. Actually, no, I've got the dentist on Monday, so maybe I won't. I won't go for a hygienist appointment. It's going to suck. I'm going to come home and be all... I want to play Ghost of Yote for 2 hours to calm down. Anyway, I'm going to go now. See you later, guys. Bye!